everyone. Welcome to ManageEngine OpManager's free training series. We are so glad to have you all here. So the main agenda for this is going to be setting up alarms, reports, speaking about add-ons as well as the network maps. So this would be the in brief agenda. So how to configure the alarm severities, manual and adaptive alerting. When it comes to alarm management, how to correlate different alarms, how to escalate alarms. When it comes to incident responses, how to view the root cause analysis, how to automate workflows. So these are all some of the highlights which we'll be covering in today's meeting. So the first one is going to be the alarms. So alarms will inform you if something goes wrong in your network instantly so that you can take the appropriate immediate corrective actions. So here is the visual representation of the various severity levels which OpManager has. So we have 5 severity levels: attention, critical, trouble, service down, and clear. So this basically tells you how serious the issue is for which the alarm has been raised. And we have also color coded to help you understand the severity of the issue. So just by looking into the color of the alarm, you can get to know how serious it is. For example, red has, the critical severity has the red color. So you can immediately act upon the critical severity alarms. So each severity of the alarms is associated with a specific color. So yellow for attention, orange for trouble, red for critical, purple for service down, and green for clear. So these are all the default colors available. But in case if you wanted to change these colors, then we also give you the option of customizing the color for each severity levels. So you can set the colors from the color palette depending upon your choice, or you can also specify the colors using the hex code as well. So let me take you to the product and let me show you how to customize these colors associated with various alarm severity levels. So in the OpManager console, you can navigate to settings, general settings, system settings. Under system settings, you will have the option called severity. So here is where you'll be able to change the color. Let's say if I want to change the color for trouble from orange to any other colors, I can just click on the orange and I can choose any other color from the color palette, or I can directly specify the hex code as well. I hope this is a very straightforward and it would be useful for you. So the next thing is the alarm thresholds. So a threshold is nothing but a limit which you can set for certain metrics which you monitor. For example, CPU utilization. So in case if you wanted an alert whenever the CPU utilization is crossing 60%, then you can configure that 60 value here in various severity levels. That is, in case if you want the 60% alarm for attention, then you can configure the value as 60 for the attention severity. So like this, you can configure the threshold values depending upon the severity. You can also customize the alarm messages, and the respective alarms will be triggered after the violations whichever you have configured here. So let me take you to the product and let me show you how to configure this. So again, as we have said it in the previous meeting, so the configurations can be done in 2 different ways. Either you can configure it at the monitor level, or you can also do it globally. So you can navigate to settings, monitoring, performance monitors. So you can just choose any monitor. For example, in case if I wanted to set for CPU utilization, I'll just click on CPU utilization. So here is where I can configure the threshold values. So let's say if I want 70% as attention, 80 for trouble, and then 90 for critical. So REAM is nothing but what is the acceptable value in your infrastructure. So that value you can just put in here. You can also change the consecutive times, meaning to say in case if this scenario has happened twice consecutively, only then the alarms will be raised. So this kind of customization is also possible. And of course, you can set the monitoring interval. So this is where you can select the severities and you can configure it across all your devices. So I hope you have understood this. So now that we have configured the alarm threshold, next we'll go into the graphs. So what are the graphs which is available and how to access them? So for each and every performance metric which you monitor in OpManager, you can also enable the graphs to visualize the monitored values. So let me take you to the product and let me show you. So let's say, for example, I wanted to view the graph for CPU utilization of one of the device which I am monitoring. So you can just directly click the specific device and you have this graph options available here. So you can just click on the graph options and you can view that. So let me show you a device which has the respective data so that it will be easy for you. So let's say that the CPU utilization is here. So this is the value for today, but in case if I wanted to change the time period, I can also see the complete graph. So this is available for all the metrics and this will also be useful for you to visualize. So the next topic which we are going to see is about an extension of the thresholds, which is called as adaptive threshold. So with the threshold configurations which we discussed earlier, so you would be configuring those values manually depending upon the criticality of each device. But with adaptive thresholds feature, which OpManager has, so what it does is it analyzes the past performance patterns of various monitors using the power of machine learning and forecast reliable values for your monitors thresholds dynamically depending upon the workload. So let's say that you have configured the CPU utilization for attention as 80% manually. So generally this value will be applicable for 24 hours all day in a week. But in real time, your workloads may vary. So for example, on Monday morning, the utilization will be around 70%. On weekends, it may go lower, let's say 10%. So keeping a constant threshold values on all your 7 days in a week will not be that much effective. So by enabling this adaptive threshold, OpManager calculates a highly useful forecast value for that specific monitor, and it dynamically updates the value every hour so that it is not need for you to specify a constant value. But for OpManager to do this accurate analysis, it would require at least 14 days of performance data so that it start providing the accurate forecast values. So the best practice which we recommend is not to enable this as soon as you start installing and start using OpManager, but instead give OpManager a week's time so that it collects the performance data and forecast its effectively so that it will give you the correct analysis. So how to enable this in the product? So go back to the product. So under settings, we have monitoring. Under monitoring, we have monitor settings. So in monitor settings, settings, monitoring, adaptive thresholds. So this is where you can enable the adaptive thresholds or you can also disable it. So here it will give you the complete list of metrics for which it is enabled, or in case if you wanted to enable it for any other specific monitor also, you can enable it. And what is the value which the adaptive threshold has forecasted for attention trouble and critical severity. So it is also available here. And you can also see the help card wherein we have detailed on how this values are derived, what is the calculation which we use, so that it will also be useful for you to understand how these values are configured. So what are the benefits of enabling this adaptive threshold? So it will minimize the alarm flooding. That is nothing but the unnecessary alarms caused by the static thresholds which you would have configured earlier. It will also improve the anomaly detection. So in case if any abnormal events, then that could be easily detected. And of course, your manual efforts will be less. That is, the calculating, the setting of this values and updating these values, everything is completely automated with this. So this would be a highly important feature, which I would definitely suggest you to have this enabled so that you can get the complete benefits using the machine learning. So now that we have covered on how you can set up and how to trigger alarms for various severities, so it's quite obvious that you will be by this point of time you would be getting a lot of alarms. So how to access and how to see the alarms and what are all the actions which you can take out of these alarms is what we are going to discuss it now. So we have a dedicated alarms tab in OpManager, which will give you the complete list of alarms. So let me take you to the product and let me show you one by one. So you can just click on this alarms tab. And as you see here, we have various alarms. So you can view alarms which are currently active by just clicking on this active alarms, which will give you the complete list of active alarms. So in case if you wanted to view all the alarms, that is both cleared as well as active alarms, then you can click on all alarms. And in case if you wanted to view specific alarms similar to event logs or even to sys logs or traps, then you can just choose the respective tabs and you can able to view the specific alarms as well. Now, what are all the actions which you can do it with regards to these alarms? So let's say I'm going to click on any one of the alarm. So let me pick up an active alarm. So let's say this device is not responding. So here, once you click on the alarm, it will give you the complete details of the alarms. So what are all the details it will give you? It will give you the complete severity of the alarm, at what time this alarm has been raised, whether this alarm has been acknowledged or not, and what is the source of this alarm. And it will also give you the complete events of the alarms also. So here you can do various operations. So what are all the operations which you can do is what I'm going to show you here. So the first thing is you can acknowledge the alarm. So you can just click on this thumbs up icon and you can have this alarms acknowledged. You can also clear the alarm manually by clicking on this clear icon. Other things is you can also do a root cause analysis. You can perform a ping, or you can perform a trace set, or you can add notes of the alarms, or you can also trigger a workflow. So root cause analysis and workflow, we will be discussing it down the line in some time. But let's say in case if you wanted to add some notes to this alarm. So let's say this device is down, and in case if I wanted to add a note stating that the reason for why this device is down, so you can just click on the notes tab, add the respective notes. For example, on maintenance, I can just add it, and I can just click on save so that the notes is added. And you can also send these alarms via the email or PDF or Excel format. So you can also have this option. So these are the various things which you can do from the alarms tab. For individual alarms also you can do, or you can also do it as a bulk basis as well. So now that we have seen how to check the alarms and how to view the alarms and how to take necessary actions, so there is also another important action which is called as alarm escalations. So let's say that you wanted to, if there is an alarm which is not yet cleared for a specific time frame, then you can also escalate that alarm to the higher level. So I understand that in every infrastructure, there will be multiple teams who would be working on the network monitoring. So let's say that in case if some of the alarms are not, any actions are not taken, then you can follow the hierarchy, the escalation criteria or the escalation hierarchy by using this alarm escalation rule as well. So how to configure this alarm escalation rule in the product is what I'm going to show you now. So under alarms tab, we have an option called alarm escalation, or you can also navigate to settings, configuration, alarm escalation rules. So here you can click on add new rule. So here you can just put the rule name. For example, in case if I'm going to create this rule for the network devices, so I can just put the name as network devices. And what is the rule which I wanted to do? So in case if there is any alarm with the severity as critical, it could be for any network devices. So I'll just put the category as any also. In case if I wanted to filter it by groups also, I can put it here, or in case if that's not needed, you can ignore it. In case if that is not cleared within 1 hour, then I want an escalation alarm or then escalation email to be sent from a particular email address to the respective email address. So let me help you by showing it here. So settings, configuration, alarm escalation rule, add rule. Yeah. So here you can put the rule name and you can specify the from address and to address, and you can specify the respective time interval. So this can also be in minutes or it can also be in hours. So we've seen that there you will also have an option for acknowledging an alarm. So in case if someone has already acknowledged that alarm, and in case if they are working on it actively, then you can use this option to exclude the acknowledge alarms also. You can put in the subject on what is the escalation email which needs to be sent and the content of the message also. We also have support for sending SMS also. So you can either use SMS or email depending upon your requirement, and you can save the rule. So with this way, you can easily escalate the alarms via both emails or SMS in case if proper action has not been taken by your teams within the specified time interval. Yeah. So we have seen alarms. We have seen how to escalate alarms. Now the next important thing is how to correlate multiple alarms to understand the root cause of an issue within an IT system. So let's say that let's consider a situation wherein you have a critical service that is running on a specific server, and you wanted to be alerted if the server goes down and take instant action. So you can set up a monitor to track this. So whenever the server goes down, you need to find out why. So it could be multiple reasons. For example, a network outage or a heating issue or a memory overload or a service outage also. So how to correlate these alarms and how to find out the root cause is what I'm going to show you now. So first thing is, let me tell you how to correlate alarms. So let me take you to the product and let me show you how this works. So under settings, you can go to configuration. So here we have an option called alarm correlation. This is where you can correlate various alarms. So here you can just click on add rule. You can just give any name for this rule which you're going to correlate. For example, South region correlation. And the devices to which you wanted to correlate. So let me go ahead by choosing one switch and one server. Yeah, so now the devices are selected. So once I click on next, then I need to choose what is the correlation which I'm going to use. So in case if I wanted to correlate against availability, or in case if I wanted to correlate against the performance monitor such as CPU or temperature like that, I can correlate the rule. So I can specify what is the rule name it is going to be. So for example, if the CPU is above 80, I can just add a rule. And what is the second correlation? So if the device should also be up. So sorry. Then I can just click on it and I can just click configure the criteria. That is, I want to have this checked every 1 hour consecutively for 2 times, and I have to apply this profile across 24/7. So like this, I can correlate multiple alarms. By doing this, you will only get only one alarm rather than getting multiple alarms in case if there is a network outage and wherein your device is going down. So rather than getting multiple alarms, like your service is also down, your device is also down. So this correlation will help you by just getting one correlated alarm rather than multiple alarms, which will reduce your time as well as your effort to identify the multiple faults which are happening in your infrastructure. So the next thing is root cause analysis. So we have seen multiple alarms raising. So we have also seen how to correlate multiple alarms into one alarm. The next thing is root cause. So how to create a root cause analysis report wherein you can select multiple devices, stack the data of your monitored metrics across the devices, correlate the data, and create a report also. So this is what we are going to check it now. So how to access this root cause analysis report? So in the product, again, you can go to alarms. Under alarms, you have root cause analysis. So here is where you can create an RCA profile. So you can just click on this create RCA profile and you can just choose the devices for which you wanted to do the root cause analysis. So again, here I'll just take one switch and I'll take any one server. And once I click on next, then I need to specify what is the metric which I wanted to correlate. So in case if I wanted to correlate depending upon the availability, I can just choose the availability percentage. Next thing is I wanted to correlate based on CPU utilization or memory utilization. I can just drop the selected metric alone and the respective data would be here. So I think unfortunately this particular device does not have a data. Let me just take a different device and show you. Yeah. So I'm just correlating between the device availability and the service availability. And in case if I wanted to change the time period, I can also change the time period. And this report can also be saved here so that the complete root cause analysis report will also be available for you, which can be submitted to your respective stakeholders to know what is the problem which is happening. So the next thing is IT workflow automations. So our OpManager also give you an option to automate few tasks so that your manual intervention is not required. So this automation which I'm speaking about in OpManager is going to be a completely code-free drag and drop of the configuration. So we have many workflow actions, so over 70 actions which we have, and all these automations can also be triggered based on alarm, or it can also be triggered based on some schedules also. So how to access this workflow or automation feature in OpManager and how to configure it is what I'm going to show you. So over to the device or over to the OpManager. So you have an option called automation dedicatedly available. So under OpManager, once you click on workflows, so this is where this is the default workflow which we have. But in case if you wanted to create a new workflow, depending upon your scenario, then you can just click on this new workflow option. And this is where you can start creating the workflow right from scratch. So let's say the first thing is I wanted to first check if the device is up or down. So first thing is what I need to do is I need to do a ping test. So here under device, there is a workflow called ping device. So here I just drag and drop it. I'll just select the device name for which I need to do a ping test. And I'll specify the number of requests to be sent and the timeout as well. And then I'll just click on OK. So now if the ping is failure, that is no, then an alarm needs to be generated. But if the ping is success, then what is the next step which I wanted to know? So once the ping is success, assume that I wanted to assume that I wanted to check if a particular service is running in the device or not, or if a particular process is running or not, or if a particular port is opened or not. So in case if that is what I wanted to check, then I will choose the respective task here and I just drag and drop the task alone to create a workflow. So for example, if the ping is success, then I need to test a Windows service. So I just execute the test service task wherein I just select the respective device. I'll check the service name which I wanted to test also, and then I click on OK. Then next thing is If the test service is going to be success, then what should happen? If the test service is not a success, then what needs to be happen? So similarly, I can just click on chain of actions depending upon the requirement, and all this can also be executed based upon the trigger interval. So what is the trigger it is going to be? Is it going to be executed based upon an alarm trigger, or is it going to be executed based upon a schedule? So if it's going to be a schedule, how frequently it needs to be executed? So the complete schedule also I can configure it here. And finally, I can just give the name of this particular profile, that is the workflow name, and I can just click on save. So by using this complete workflow feature, you can automate few small tasks like checking whether the service is up or down, or in case if I wanted to check if the credential is working or not, or in case if I wanted to check if the DNS resolution is working or not. So all these things can be achieved by using this workflow feature, which is readily available in the OpManager product. So the next thing is forecasting performance features. So we are monitoring everything. So alarms is also coming in, but we also need an option to forecast the performance trends, which will be available in OpManager. So we have this forecasting performance trends feature available in OpManager, wherein OpManager analyzes the collected monitoring metrics, and it forecasts what would be the expected values with machine learning. So it also gives you the complete forecast reports. You can also schedule these forecast reports also, and the forecast is also available for up to 2 weeks in the future. So how to access this forecast and how to view this is what I'm going to show you. So available under reports, OpManager. So we have dedicated forecast reports available here. So here you can forecast CPU or memory or disk. So you can just click on CPU forecast, and OpManager will give you the complete forecast detail. So when it would go to 80%, when it will go to 90%. So like this, we have the complete forecast trends, which will be useful for you to plan your resources. And in case if a resource expansion is required, then you can make use of these data to expand your resources as well. So the next thing is notification profiles. So we have various alarms which is coming in on the OpManager platform. Now, what are all the various notification channels through which you can receive these alerts? So as a network administrator, you cannot keep on looking in the OpManager's UI for all the alerts. So for this reason, we have something called as notification profiles, where you can configure the medium through which you want to receive all your alarms. And you can associate these notification profiles to devices or groups to receive notifications for any kind of alerts. So let me take you to the product and let me show you how to configure this. So under settings, we have notifications. So here is where all the notification profiles are there. So you can just click on add, and this is where the various mediums of the notifications are available. So the most widely used is going to be the email, but apart from email, we also have SMS, we have web alarms, we have log a ticket, which is nothing but logging a ticket in your ticketing platform, which you use internally in your organization. In case if you have any chat tools like Slack or Microsoft Teams, then you can also integrate with OpManager, and these alarms can also be sent to you in your respective chat platform also. So let's say, for example, I wanted to create an email notification profile. So I can just click on email. I will specify the from and to email address here. And here is where I will be specifying the criteria. So on what scenarios I would require an email notification profile is what I will be selecting from this page. So let's say if I want an email for all my devices downs alarms, so I can just specify the criteria for interface down or whatever criteria for which I would require an email notification profile. I can specify it. After I have specified it, I can associate this notification profile to the devices. So this can be done for individual devices. This can also be done for a group of devices, and this can also be done for the interface grouping also. So we have both device groups and interface group as explained earlier. So you can associate it manually or by groups also. So once it is associated, I can specify how long this email notification is going to work. So is it going to be for 24/7, or is it going to be applicable only during my business hours? So that you can specify it from here, and you can just click on next, give a profile name to save this notification profile. So once this is saved, moving forward, whatever alarms which you are getting within the OpManager console will also be sent through the email channel, and it will be sent to your inbox. So which would be easy for you to keep a look of all the alerts rather than opening the OpManager's UI and seeing all the real-time alerts. So I hope this will also be useful for you. So the next thing is integrations. So we have various integrations, seamless integrations to speed up your IT workflows with OpManager. So what are all the integrations which OpManager currently supports? How to configure these integrations is what I'm going to show you. So let me explain each integration types which is available in OpManager out of box. So in the OpManager console, you can navigate to settings. Under settings, choose general settings. And under general settings, we have a dedicated tab called integrations. So all these are various integrations. One. So first thing is alert management. So we have integration with alarms one, wherein you can integrate all the alarms which are getting from multiple platforms under one single roof. The next thing is we have integrations with chat, that is your Slack channel or your Microsoft Teams. So in case if you happen to use any of these two platforms, you can readily integrate. In case if you happen to use any ticketing tools within your organization, such as Services Plus or ServiceNow or Jira, then we have dedicated out-of-box integration with these platforms, wherein you can log the tickets in these respective platforms as and when an alarm is raised in OpManager. So for integrations with Service Desk Plus, you also have additional features like bidirectional sync between OpManager's alarms and Service Desk Plus tickets. That is, like as and when the alarms are cleared in OpManager, then automatically the tickets are also closed in the Service Desk platform. We have CMDB integration. We also have integration with Ansible, which will help you to integrate OpManager to perform some kind of automated response playbooks that are triggered by some alarms. And we also have integration with other solutions such as Applications Manager, as well as in case if you have an SIEM solution similar to ManageEngine Log 360, then we also have integration with this. But it's not that all these integrations are only limited to these various platforms which I have showed you, but we also have an option called custom integration also. So which you can just click on this new custom integration available in the right side top. So what this custom integration will do is, in case if you are using some product for which we do not have out of the box integration, but if you wanted to have it integrated, then you can use this custom integration tool, and you can integrate to any platforms with OpManager using REST APIs or using webhook. So by this, you can also integrate OpManager with any platforms which support webhooks or APIs, and you can get the complete benefit of using OpManager. So the next topic which we are going to discuss is data collection manager feature. So this is nothing but a watchdog which will help you to improve your polling efficiency by reducing unnecessary polling load on your OpManager server. So how this works and how to configure this, how to view this in the console is what I'm going to show you. So let me take an interface like Ethernet and assume that you're monitoring it in an interval of 5 minutes. So if the monitor responds normally, then it remains it in the normally monitored state. However, if the OpManager fails to get a response for, let's say, a period of 6 hours, then it moves to a suspended state. And the device will be monitored at a delayed polling interval. Let's say it will be monitored once in every 4 hours instead of every 5 minutes for the next 10 days. If still there is no response from the device, then OpManager will move that particular interface to a disabled state where the polling is stopped indefinitely. So by this mechanism, it will help you to increase your polling efficiency as well as reducing your unnecessary polling load on your OpManager, and it will be efficiency. I mean, it will increase your efficiency of your polling as well. So how to configure this in OpManager and how to check the configurations of this? So you can navigate to the OpManager console. You can click on the headphones icon available in the right side top corner. You can just choose this diagnostics options available under self-support. So here is where the complete details are. So here you can just click on the settings in order to ensure whether you wanted to have this feature turned off or turned on. In case if you wanted to turn on this feature, then when do you want to suspend a poll? So if you wanted to suspend it after 4 hours or after 5 hours, you can specify it here. And what is the delayed polling interval also, you can specify it here. And when you wanted to when you want OpManager to completely stop polling it, that period also you can disable it. I mean, you can specify it here. In case if you want an alert via email, you can also configure it here. And in case if you want any reports based upon this data collection manager, then you can also specify the email address for which you want the respective reports to be sent. So the complete list of failed monitors along with the reasons why it is not working, the complete list also you can get it here. It is not only applicable for monitors, it is also applicable for your interfaces, as well as it is also applicable for the credentials with which all the polling is happening. So in case if the credential is not working, why is it is not working, the respective reason is also displayed here. So everything under one single platform. So after data collection manager, then let's come to the visualizations of various things. So we have maps wherein the data can be visualized in multiple formats, which will improve your network visibility, the monitoring and management. So what are the different kinds of maps which we have is what we are going to discuss it now. So first thing is we have layer 2 maps, wherein you can automate the complete network topology, which are updated with the scheduled rediscovery. So which is what we discussed during the first session of this OpManager free training. Then we have business views, wherein you can draw or build maps by dragging and dropping network devices into a customizable background. So how to achieve this? Where are these features present in the product? Let me take you one by one and let me show you. So first thing is, if you choose that, we have a dedicated maps icon. So once you choose maps, then we have the complete list of maps available. So we discussed about layer 2 maps. So in case if you have configured the layer 2 discovery, then you can access the respective layer 2 map by choosing layer 2 maps under maps and specifying choosing the respective name of the map. So once you click on that, then the complete layer 2 maps will be drawn depending upon the configurations which you have earlier provided. Now let's say if you wanted to create a business view, then if you wanted to access any business views which is already created, then you can just choose maps, business views, specify the respective business view which you wanted to access, and you can view the respective business view. So let me show you one of our Bangalore business views which we have created. 1 minute. Okay, I think I'm facing a small glitch here. So just give me a quick second. Let me quickly navigate you to the business views. And it's not that you can, you need to access only the existingly created business view, but you can also create a new business views as well. So this is one of the business view which I have created for my Bangalore location. And in case if I wanted to access the complete distribution map, so I can have this also. So how to create this? So you can click on maps, choose business views, Here, if you just move to the bottom, we have an option called create new. So once you click on create new, all you need to do is just drag the list of devices which is present in your inventory from the left side to the right side. In case if you wanted to link these three devices, so you can draw the link between the devices by choosing this link icon and specifying which link is connected to which. So the complete details you can link it, and you can also specify the background image also. How to specify the background image? So we have an option here called select background image. So here we have some images by default. However, in case if you all also wanted to upload any custom image, you can also use by using the upload option. So here I'm just picking up the India map, and I want to plot one device depending upon where my devices exist, and drawing the lines also. So the complete business views, I can customize it depending upon my requirement. Yeah. So apart from layer 2 maps and business views, we also have rack builder, which will with which you can visualize how your switches are present in the racks, which is present in your data center. We can also visualize your complete data center in the form of 3D floor view. We have Google Maps or Zoho Maps, and we have maps dedicatedly for your virtual environment as well. So where these devices are, where these features are available and how to access it in OpManager, we'll see it now. So again, under maps, we have rack views. So in case if I wanted to access any rack, which I've already created, then you can just specify the respective name, or you can just click on create new rack, where I can just name the respective rack. For example, South Zone rack, I can name here. And what is the maximum units for this rack, I can specify here. And I can just drag and drop the switches or the routers which is mounted on these racks, or the servers, anything it would be. I can just drag and drop the devices. In case if I wanted to add any peripherals, I can also add it. So like this, once the rack is created, then you can just click on save, and it will be accessible under this rack views, which is available under the maps. So once the maps are all, once the racks are all created, then you can stack all these racks into one particular data center view, which is nothing but 3D floor views. So you can click on create new, and here you can just specify the walls, just like similar to how your data center looks like. And you can drag the complete rack view which you have created in the rack views from the left side. And once you have clicked on create, then it looks something similar to this. So the complete 3D floor view or the 2D view of your racks can also be displayed, and this can also be created. So this is your 3D floor view. The next is, in case if you wanted to access the complete maps of your virtual devices, then assume that you have already discovered your vCenters, host, and ESXi devices. Then under maps, once you choose the respective virtualization platform, you have the respective maps which is already drawn. So for example, if I wanted to view my VMware map, I can just click on this respective device name, and it will, the complete list of your virtualization map will be drawn here. So allow me some time. I think the page is loading. Yeah, so this is the complete list of how my virtualization devices are communicating. So like this, we support multiple virtualization vendors. For example, Hyper-V, Zen, or Linux. For everything, the maps can be drawn. Okay. So the next is dashboards in OpManager. So dashboards allows you to get a complete bird's eye view of what's happening in your IT environment. So we have multiple built-in dashboards, and we have close to 150 plus widgets with which you can create custom dashboards depending upon your requirement also. So you can also segregate these dashboards. You can delegate these dashboards to the respective people like the administrator or to operators also. So you can associate them depending upon the roles which you would have created while provisioning the users in OpManager. And we also have knock views, which will help you to monitor your entire network from your network operations center. So the knock views can also be created by choosing the dashboards which you wanted to view, and the same will also be refreshed based upon the refresh rate which will be configured. So let me show you how to access dashboards, how to create dashboards, as well as how to create knock views. So in the console, in the left side, once you choose dashboard, then here you have an option called custom dashboard. Here you can click on create new dashboard, which will help you to create it. So let me just put the name for my dashboard. For example, I'll just put it as data center. Once I click on next, the complete list of predefined widgets available will be displayed. So from this widgets, I can choose what data I wanted to display it in the dashboard. So for example, in case if I wanted to display the CPU utilization of the devices, I can choose CPU, then disk utilization, then memory. Then in case if I wanted to know, in case if any devices are down, along with their downtime, then I can just select the respective um, widgets. So once the widgets are all selected, I can just click on next, and I can associate to which users these dashboards needs to be displayed. So I can just provision the access accordingly. Once I click on create, then the dashboard will be created. In case if I wanted to create, in case if I wanted to view the dashboard which I've already created, then once you go back to dashboard under custom dashboard, let's say I have already created the item bank dashboard. If I wanted to view it, I can just click on item bank and the complete data will be displayed here depending upon the dashboard which I have already created. Now this dashboard is created. Now how to convert this dashboard as a knock view so that you can view it from your network operations center also. So again, once I go back to dashboard, there is an option here called knock views. So here I can just click on create knock view. I just specify the knock view name and the refresh interval. Minimum is 30 seconds and the maximum can be 10 minutes, can be configured depending upon your requirement. And here I will specify which dashboard I wanted to project. So whether I wanted to project the item bank dashboard or whether I wanted to project any other built-in dashboards which OpManager has by default. And once that is selected, then I can just click on create knock view. So once the knock view is created, you can access it by navigating to dashboards, knock views. So I have a sample view here. Once I click on it, then a dedicated link will open wherein the complete knock view data will be displayed. So this keeps refresh every 1 minute, and you can also change it from dark mode to light mode also depending upon your requirement. Okay, I hope this dashboards and knock views features are helpful for you. So the next thing is about reports. So in today's fast-paced environment, decision making needs to happen instantaneously. So for that, you need all the processed data in the form of actionable reports. So OpManager has by default a lot of 100 plus built-in reports that are categorized for easy access. So how to access these reports is what I'm going to show you. So we have a dedicated reports tab in OpManager. So once you navigate to reports, OpManager, then we have categorize it based on various things. So in case if you want any health-based or performance-based reports, then everything is stacked under the health and performance tab. Or in case if you wanted to know any reports based on availability, then it is categorized under availability and response tag. So depending upon your requirement, you can just choose the respective report and you can filter it based upon the time period. For example, if I wanted to know the downtime report, I mean the complete list of devices which were down for a period of last 30 days, and I can just also specify the time period here. I can just choose apply. This can also be exported in a form of PDF or Excel, or it can also be scheduled to send it via email also. So we have these many features. And apart from these built-in reports which are readily available, in case if you wanted to create a new custom report depending upon your requirement, then OpManager also allows you to create reports also. So we have an option here called create new in the right side top. Once you click on it, you can specify the report name. You can choose what are the metrics for which you need to display it in the OpManager. And once you click on the save, the respective report will also be created. And here is also, we have forecast reports also. So not only the by default built-in reports are there, but as we mentioned earlier, OpManager leverages the machine learning program, and it will also predict the usage of your critical reports. So you can track your CPU, memory, and disk storage usage. You can forecast it, and you can use these reports for your decision-making purposes as well. So under reports, you have OpManager. So here is where forecast reports are there. And depending upon the metric, you can just get the complete forecast. So next thing is the complete add-on modules available in OpManager. So as you would be well aware, so IT teams probably uses multiple tools to manage your IT infrastructure across various silos. So when the number of tools increases, your cost, complexity, everything would be increased. So OpManager add-ons resolve this by performing diverse IT operations management and unifying them under one single pane of glass. So what are all the add-ons which are available? So we have NetFlow Analyzer, we have Network Configuration Manager, Firewall Analyzer, and Optmize. So each of these add-ons does a dedicated task. For example, so NetFlow Analyzer, you can use it to gain in-depth insights into applications for real-time traffic monitoring or network forensics. In case if you wanted to do deep packet inspections, you can use Network Configuration Manager add-on to take backups of your startup and running configurations. In case if there is any config change, if that is detected, then you can get notifications. You can monitor your complaints as well as your firmware. The Firewall Analyzer add-on will help you with the complete monitoring and complete configurations of your firewall rules. So in case if you wanted to know if you wanted to optimize your firewall rules, if you wanted to have a complete configuration management of your firewalls, view bandwidth analysis, view the firewall audits, do VPN tunnel monitoring, then for all these, your Firewall Analyzer add-on can help you out. Optmize can help you out by managing your complete IP address management as well as your switch ports, your DHCP monitoring. In case if there are any rogue detections, then it can detect and tell you. And in case if you wanted to reserve any IP address, so all these things can all be done using the Optmize add-on. We also have Applications Manager as a plugin along with OpManager. So similar to servers and network devices, in case if you wanted to monitor any applications such as database monitoring or multi-cloud monitoring or container monitoring or synthetic transactions monitoring, then Applications Manager gives you or delivers you these many features which can also be used alongside with OpManager. So how to enable these add-ons, how to view it in your console. So you can go back to the OpManager console. So you have this gear icon in the right side top. So once you click on it, then we have an option here called displayed modules. So here is where you can enable the respective add-ons. And once you click on save, the respective add-ons data will be automatically displayed in the OpManager console. So once again, we thank you all for attending this 3-part free training series. So I hope this was informational. So we look forward for your support, and we look forward that you efficiently use OpManager in monitoring your complete IT space. Thank you.